That being said, some good rifling work coming out overall. Caseyo looked a lot better as well. So it should be interesting to see what version of Brazy we can actually see coming.
Yeah, the final battleground between these two Polish squads. One has been at some of these big tier or big S tier events, and some have, well, they don't have the experience on the brazylijski luz side. So they're really hoping to take it to one of the few Polish teams that are sort of competing domestically and actually may be able to take an upset here. I think I've liked their faster paced plays, but Nuke isn't always the most conducive to that kind of play style, so I do worry for them when they're on that T side. But we shouldn't have to worry about that. They do start on CT, so Rebels will have more to prove in this opening segment.
Always nice to win the 9th round out for Nuke, even if it is always getting more and more even.
Yeah.
If you had to change something on Nuke, Michael, to make it more CT-sided, but not overwhelmingly so, what would you do?
Some other way to rotate into the lower bomb site from CT spawn, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd quite like to have the window back in hut, to be honest.
Yeah, the window back in hut isn't a terrible idea. Am I like gaslighting myself? Weren't there like 2 windows?
No. There was just one.
Yeah, okay. I thought I was like, yeah, maybe played some weird variation.
No, hut wasn't that open. But I will say though, I know everyone's mentioned, and we've had this discussion like 3 times across the past 2 or 3 weeks because we're different people, about the room you're mentioning in the lower bomb site. Dude, I've thought, I cannot remember it. Like, I purposely didn't want to go find it on YouTube or something, but I just can't remember the room in the lower bomb site. And of course, for those of you guys who might be a little bit newer to Counter-Strike, or maybe you just don't remember like me, there used to be another room in the lower bomb site. I don't know exactly where it was, but I just can't remember it.
Yeah, it's the, you remember where the, like, you know where the Astralis plant is?
Yeah,
it was there. That's exactly where it was.
Wow.
There used to be 2 boxes and basically a double doors, and you could like hide behind the boxes, and it was kind of just, it was weird. It was actually strange that it existed, but it was a very safe like little hidey hole on the B bomb site for whatever reason, and they got rid of it, and I'm kind of glad they did because it was a little silly. There've been a lot of variations of Nuke though. I like that it's one of the maps that we still have in the pool that has undergone so much change, but is still relatively consistent in its play. Like, sure, the like 50-50 split, or like the what was like a 75 to 25 split at one point or another in favor of CTs. But it, like, even through those changes, we've had other maps where we're like, oh, there's so many problems with it, let's just get rid of it, and then they can sort it out after the fact. Like we did that with Cobble, and Cobble never came back. And maybe Cobble doesn't deserve to be back.
Will we come back though, Michael? Because we're gonna go to a small break. Will we be back? Stay tuned to find out. Yes, we will. We will be back. There's Counter-Strike to be played, guys. Don't worry. Back in a bit. the mystery has been solved. We do have a game. And admittedly, I did kind of give it away, but maybe I'm just like Christopher Nolan. I gave the ending in the beginning.
Wow, that would certainly be a twist. But who wins? That's still to be determined. You haven't spoiled that one, and I will not press you for the answers. Brazylijski luz looking to start here on that CT side, while Rebels will have to show us what they can do on the attack. No utility here for the Rebels. They just want to burst and fight.
I mean, going up against the double dualies and the Zeus, this is pretty much a one-man stopping power. Virtuoso as well outside is looking good, and now all that remains is for Polo to swing forward, try and see if he can find the kill while the bomb's being planted. Virtuoso is actually the one who does that, and as Polo still continues to duel, Flay will fall to him. Sparrow, 1-on-2. This would be a great round to showcase that nuke positional capabilities that you mentioned. They do not have a kit, but it's a pretty, you know, I'm not even gonna say
go on.
No, I don't.
Go on.
Maybe it's just really late in the day, but that felt like a 5-second defuse to me.
No, that was a full 10-second stick. You were
Okay.
right. Yeah, no, it's just simply. I mean, Spiro took a very long route and had hoped to catch them out, and that they hadn't fully stuck it, but they were committing, and until Spiro revealed himself, there was kind of no reason for them to get off. They got on it so early, and they had the numbers. So nicely handled. Rops has changed the game with that Zeus position in pistol rounds, and it works out for Polo. Got his double. Good way to jump start here on CT. It's an investment here from Rebels, but any util that they would have had has been mainly used just to smoke out main. Nice little waterfall smoke so they can maybe cross towards outside, take that challenge, and use those rifles to their fullest effect.
The M4A1 is one of the most satisfying long-range spray downs in Nuke. Like this very angle, it's so annoying to punish as well. Oh, there you have it. Satisfaction galore.
Well, this doesn't feel great. Flash in. Trying to set up Prism, but Virtuoso has found another kill. Casey does get the double. Nice collection on another head. And does a lot of damage onto Swizz, but transitioning into those vents will not be easy. Virtuoso finishes off with a full ace. This first rifle round, they just simply put the force buy of Rebels to bed.
Well, you know what? Is that the second ace Virtuoso's gotten? Virtuoso got an anti-eco ace as well, I think, in Ancient and Mid. That did seem to be him.
Yes, yeah, I do believe that was him, yeah.
All right, there you go, man. He's had a pretty good time on Mirage as well. Virtuoso's been a good, consistent piece in that regards. But hey, solid start to them for the third map, as you will be having just the quick cleanup in the pistol and the anti-force buy after the bomb plant as well.
Yeah, I mean, especially when, you know, you go into a force buy and basically everybody just buys into Galils and no one invests into enough utility to go for any sort of map control. I mean, that kind of, you know, that's... I don't want to say you did to yourselves, but at the same time, you almost want a contingency plan, and once they lost those numbers, unfortunately, they just didn't have a second prong or a second plan in place. So nicely handled from brazylijski luz. Virtuoso doing a lot of the heavy lifting in that regard, but he just kept on winning his fights, so why wouldn't you take another?
Can you imagine how much it would suck if we had to go on cameras after every single round, just in general, to try and explain what happened?
The viewers would hate our faces.
More than they already do. But little do you know, I already hate my face. Toxic. I have to be to myself, no one to no one else. That's where I get all of my emotions at, Michael.
Don't ever get yourself down like that. Everyone's beautiful in their own way. This was a pretty ugly round, though. No real prospect of doing damage to the economy. Swizz did survive on 5 HP, but no one able to finish him off. 3 rounds straight, and barely a look in so far for the Rebels. Pistol was the most contested, as you'd expect. Now into rifles. No AWP out, nor will there be one here for Brazy, and they can afford it. It's not like they couldn't justify an upgrade. Get one of these SMGs out of their hands, but they're going to treat this as a full bonus, so These AKs should have a much better time challenging what is predominantly submachine guns.
The allure of a bonus really is deceptive. Prism ends up not just singed, but really second-degree burns coming through. 48 HP is all he's left with. Double up downstairs. Having an MP9 try and play in close towards secret is always a threat if you're attempting to cross, but with no smokes or anything like it. And Brazy must be reading into some sort of a late hit, and that's actually exactly what ends up being the case. Kisarek going forward as he is going to make the cross. There's a retreat from the CTs because of a Molotov. Both Swizz and Klosu will, however, maintain positions, and if this is a lower side hit, then they're in a very good position to try and punish. Meanwhile, Polo spots out no one on the lurk, and with this, 3 players are here to receive that package as it is attempted to be planted. Kisarek will be late to the party, so he has a chance of catching them off guard. Sparrow as well, finding a quick frag, and now it's just Swizz. Good for 1, but 1's not good for much.
Yeah, those rifles outdueling what little those SMGs could offer up. Sure, Swizz got his 1, but he needed more than that. Polo's already saving. And it will maybe be on Swizz to see if he can sweep in for at least a rifle. Where is Swizz? I'd love to get eyes on him, because... Oh no, sorry, it's not Swizz. Yeah, it's... Sorry, it's just Polo saving. My fault.
Yeah. All good. Disconnections be damned. I will say it is nice to see that our HUD is already patched out from yesterday. Of course, we discussed the issue about the coaches making things a little bit messy in the numbers, so yeah.
I don't think it's been patched, more that there aren't coaches.
The best patch. That's a Valve patch right there, Michael. That's the way developers do it.
Yeah, I mean, Spiro is the coach, but he's in the server, like actually playing, and I don't think Brazy have one, so...
Well. Gabe Newell is smiling somewhere in New Zealand.
Yeah, in his little hobbit house. That's where they call that, I'm pretty sure.
Quick smoke out for Virtuoso to occupy in the secret again. This time, no bonuses, no MP9s, no excuses. Polo, Opus rain in and outside. Prism takes a lot of damage as he's trying to back off once again.
This angle from Virtuoso could be totally disruptive. A smoke wall, a late one that blooms. But they need to clear this position, otherwise Virtuoso will immediately trounce any possibility of a threat. Nice flash, and it's perfect, right on the money. Kisarek set up for that, and it grants them access towards that lower site.
They want to fully descend down though, and meanwhile Olympic just cutting off the A-side players, can't make it too, so B is where they'll go. Swizz is already trying to wait them out, but he's revealed his position. I think they should have heard him on rafters. Won't be fully confident, but with Polo to cover off the cross as well, Swizz is going to have an easier time taking these duels one by one play. Can't shut him down, brings it back to a 2-on-2, but he's so disjointed with Sparrow. The question is, does Brazy actually read into that? Polo, position reveal, but he's just buying space for Klosu and Sparrow. As he peeks forward, will bring it back to a 1-on-1, but Polo can still hold on. Sparrow revealed that he is inside the decon room. Flashbang doesn't really do much either, but the bomb's nowhere nearby. He has to peek out, and Polo is ready.
Definitely a path that Spiro could have taken, but he would have had to gray screen himself, and it wouldn't have felt like a fair fight. But having an ult, hardly fair either. Nicely done there from Polo. Just playing distraction. And securing the round as well, in for Brazy. That was strange. That was a little weird. Rebels felt like they were forced to commit to that B-bomb side as soon as they lost Olymp on his lurk. And they had so much to work off of at the start, so probably hoping that their plans can develop a little better in some of these future T-side openings. They're probing into ramp with that AWP. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
That might have been an audio cue given up. Polo is looking to somewhat reinforce in at ramp.
If they
They're
want
gonna try
to
and play contact off each other.
if they want to try and retake into this one, it won't be the easiest. They're worried about a ramp control play to come out around that 105, 110 mark, but so far it is just full lobby control and waiting for Kisarek to find some more space into Secret and see what he can get on the probe. Rebels are fully set up for an ace site hit, but not one with utility behind it.
They were waiting so patiently for a pick, but this has been a non-starter thus far here for Rebels. They're just hoping that they can maybe emerge out of these smokes and collapse on what is likely to be an A play. They do have Kisarek still probing towards B, but they just don't have time to investigate with him.
And Casey's got one flash, and that goes down towards Mini. Maybe there's a chance of blinding Prism, but they're taking contact first, and the contact works. Closu, good for one, but with the farmers, he was never going to get two. Turns out just full walking in can actually work out pretty well.
It really didn't feel like it should have.
I agree, I'm with you.
Yeah, Casey's head was offered up, and it was just, I mean, that's a swing and a miss, really.
Right.
Or is it
Prism
Spiro
just-
leading?
Nah, Prism just completely flubs it, unfortunately. It doesn't matter who's leading on that side, it's about what Prism's doing.
Yeah, I mean, that just should have been a setup almost for a multi-kill. Because he did what he could from the rafters, but it's just such a tradable position. No kit here for Swizz either, but he could get a kill on the exit. Yeah, Kisarek. I mean, he spent all that time inside of Secret hunting for a player that never came, and gets shot in the back. Unlucky for him, but Rebels break through. That round really didn't look like it should have fallen their way, but they're more than happy that that simple little contact play worked as well as it did.
Yeah, despite the bonus, Brazius wasn't able to actually find the kills with the MP9 earlier on, so they don't have too much saved up money, so this force spike coming into it is a little bit toothless, I won't lie. The Deagles are sharp but brittle.
Oh, step made by Casey, and a lot of presence obviously being heard here by Brazy. They do have a player inside of main calling numbers. Flash in, and another set of smokes that are down. A little gap here for Prism to operate around, and he actually finds perfect timing. Casey almost rounded that corner to cover off that angle, but instead, Prism gets his kill and falls back behind a smoke. In fact, he wasn't done. He moved through that smoke again and hounded down Casey. He gets his hands on an AK, and they've had a man advantage here on the Brazy side. Surely this round that started off with pistols and SMGs can't fully come to fruition. Kisarek, that's an important kill. Back to 2-on-2, and they have enough time to set up an afterplants.
They don't have a Molotov to try and flush out the Flay op either. Flay's playing these close range angles. He is good at these otherwise, but the flashbang just comes forward. Kisarek is here to cover off, but Swizz swings out wide, and the multi-kill king continues to be a major factor, but really Prism's kills are the ones that surprise him into contention in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, that's a massive performance in from Prism. I mean, his timing was excellent. He just kept on finding players looking blissfully unaware about the possibility of him swinging. Got clean fights, got his hands on an AK, and things just kind of spiraled out of control there for the Rebels. They threw a very weird smoke, I think, as well. Like, I think that was a Rebel smoke that was down at an Unbreakable, but not sort of fully sectioning off main, and they just weren't covering the gap.
What is Unbreakable?
This box, or Ice box.
Okay.
Or Ice Cube.
Okay.
Ice Cube, Unbreakable, people call
Alright.
it different things,
We call
depending
it
on where you're
lonely,
from.
So,
Okay, it could be lonely, yeah.
alright. At this point, you're just making things up. But you know what? They might be making these kills up. Polo finds Casey, stays alive despite the damage dealt the other way as well. And in the meanwhile, the T side has got B side, but not uncontested. Swizz is here, and he's always been a good hand. Maybe not the most hospitable one, but he strikes pretty hard.
He's had a solid series. Virtuoso did sneak into the lead in terms of kill count for the Brazy side, but Swizz has been consistent alongside him. See if Flay can offer us up anything. Nice little peek, open that door, and has an opportunity, but he got caught with a little bit of aim punch, it felt like. Swizz able to sweep in for a third kill, because Flay, I mean, had he hit that round certainly felt like, you know, he was entering a bit of a flow state. These rounds just seem to start and fizzle up very quickly here for the Rebels.
Good to see that timeout being used, because honestly, Rebels does feel like some of the rounds that they've gotten have been on a silver platter more than, hey, we're sitting down to cook ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't always dine and dash. Now they pulled out the Tech 9s. Maybe they can dash at least. Let's find out about the dine.
Yeah, what if they dash to dine, you know? They're still paying, but they're just making sure they get there quick.
They are looking pretty hungry. Hungry for rounds, hungry for kills, hungry for any sort of chances of closing this one out in their favor. But they're fasting men. They can slow down as well. Smoke into Squeaky. They're gonna thread in the open. Prism's got the MP9 angle. Easy, easy for the Breezy.
They made the mistake. They opened the door while the smoke was blooming in front of it, and it opened the wrong way on them, so it definitely discombobulated them slightly. And nice clear here from Kisarek. Prism seems somewhat aware that could have been a possibility, but still gets floored by the tech. The techs, in fact, are finding more and more kills, and Spiro his bullets are magnetic. Polo and Swizz, all that remain. I mean, this is not a round, again, that Rebels really should have been pulling together. We'll see if Swizz and Polo can at least contest it. These rifles have not been recovered.
Swizz is hoping to come through with a quick 1-2. Needs to be fast, but at least Polo's there to cover off, and Kisarek revealed his position earlier on. Are they aware that he's still there? Well, Polo wasn't aware, but the adjustment is good, and with the kit, they would have had the defuse regardless. I've got to say, man, this felt like Rebels had it in the bag. Unfortunately, despite Sparrow's big double click, just can't close it out.
They're going to be so annoyed that they didn't close that. That is, I mean, rounds like that don't always materialize that often, but I mean, Spira hit some blinder shots on that tech. It felt like they had everything they needed. They just weren't playing off each other, and I think we're a little slow on the uptake. So many angles to cover off, and they still wanted to fight inside of the bomb site instead of playing more defensive angles. And they get punished for it. You know, they get caught on a timing. Swizz doing, again, another great job finding multi-kills. That is
Polo,
really
man,
well
he's
done.
back.
I mean, it's timed well with the Molotov as well. You know, kind of forced Olin back so he didn't get singed by the flames right into the watchful eyes of Polo, who just blew open that smoke. The timing was perfect on that play.
And I mean, Polo and Swizz both right now activating at the same time. This is sort of like getting the best from Mirage and the best from Ancient and then putting it together in some sort of mega Zord.
My intrusive thoughts just thought of an amalgamation of all their faces combined into one, and it was not a pretty sight. But I hear you. They are as threatening here on Nuke as they were on those previous maps.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, make a mega robot
Thing. Yes.
Yep.
All that matters is shooty shooty bang bang, and Swizz has been banged out. Virtuoso though can't take advantage of a missed shot from Flay. He'll have to molly off the angle. Flay forced forward, in fact, and then it's even the nade in. Flay almost gets taken down just by utility. Polo, the only one to find the frag. Unfortunately, the CTs, despite looking like they were in good positions and had a good read, can't actually find too much, and they're forced back on the retake. Now, two players are low, but POLO has to round the corner and get a difficult shot. He's been given information, and with that, he can just pre-fire. Virtuoso on the defuse, threading the stick, good for another kill, but as he doesn't have a kit, this round is basically gone. Out of bullets, out of time, he has to go for the full stick, and eventually Keserak will just go out for the clear, and even if Virtuoso can't get the round win, he does get some pretty nice consolation and saves the op.
Yeah, just getting away with his life. Nice kills from Virtuoso. POLO doing a great job as well, just coming in and thinning the herd. They tried to play off each other and bait for that, but they really needed that kit on Virtuoso. And you're maybe looking at the end of that round thinking, he has $700, why did he buy a kit? But those were because he got the kills. He had bought everything he could. You also don't need all the kits in the world, but it has to be very well managed. Who's actually dedicating themselves to the bomb. It doesn't always work out. Rebels do get themselves another round. This time it does feel like they worked well for it. They break into that B-bomb site.
Oh,
there were definitely some problems. POLO, once again, a nice opening pick here on this CT effort. And even gets away. Doesn't get caught in transition. These players are tanking nades, though, on the Rebel side.
dude, POLO looks so comfortable on Nuke. He's just in a full throw speed right now. Just every single move pre-program, and now Kosu as well. He's in with the program. Into Case's head. AK picked up as well.
I like the decision
weaker
there.
buy, but good for them. Brazy bringing it all back together.
Yeah, it's a good decision there from Kosu as well. He got his information from his teammates that there was a player close main, and he only just ducked into the vents, so he just comes back up and runs him down with that SMG. Playing together. They were on a scrambled buy, but they have really turned the heads of Rebels once again. Another one of these low buys that the Rebels honestly just get demolished by.
This is the best looking Brazy we've seen so far, if I'm being honest. They've really struggled on some of their CT sides, and this is just excellent play off of each other. Any questions we had about their rotates have been answered. It's really nice.
And again, it's not like, you know, you look at the coach stand-in situation for the Rebels. Like, Spira's had some entries. You know, he's been fragging about as good as anybody else here on the Rebels. They've just kind of all struggled.
Yeah. I mean, it's...
Even some of the shots that Flay has been offered up, you know, he was hitting those on Ancient, but missing them here.
Waves is looking beautiful on that spray down. Can't get the third together, otherwise it would have been a thing of beauty. Meanwhile, POLO is a thing of beauty. He's on fire in all the right and wrong ways. That's what you want to see. Good for one is Keserak. Can he make it two? Virtuoso nearby is smoked off, and oh, he's playing with the idea of going through the smoke. That's really the only way this retake happens, and they have to go for it. If Keserak is allowed to just wait around not being taken down.
They do have time to play with. I mean, they have kits and smokes available.
Problem is, it'll always have to be Virtuoso to be the one who makes a move, and they both die together. Live together, die together, break together. We'll be back after a small one. 8-4, Brazy looking good. Rebels able to make a half of it in the end. They're up to 4. Brazy, however, do look like they're by far the better team with Nuke. Can they chain that success together on T side, though? That's the question.
Yeah, the bigger question was always going to be about the second half and whether or not the T side of Brazy had much to offer, or whether Rebels could actually slot in Spiro comfortably for the CT rotates. This pistol could determine a lot, though. You may not be able to see much of the Rebel CT side if they don't succeed here.
Olam's had a bit of a more underwhelming series so far, and listen, if this ended up being a ramp hit, he has a chance to rectify that. Some beautiful skill on the dualies. I won't pretend like I know which one it is, but when all you can see is him jiggling, you gotta put some focus down on the flash. Only one flash though on the Brazy side, and that's in the hands of Polo. Gets deployed. Olam's already passed it. Goes in. Good for 1. Can't make it 2, but Flay's there to cover off his tracks. Meanwhile, though, Flay's not ready. Flay doesn't realize there's a player coming through ramp, but at least he's got a quick eye line off it. Sparrow on the rotate. Flay on the frags.
Very important kills. I mean, the fact that they were ready and had the rotates available in time to address that. But do they know where Virtuoso is coming from? They did hear those doors, and Virtuoso shot in the back of the head. Dooley's not enough to finish him off, but 2 HP and 3 players to find? Good luck. He's, in fact, just decided, yeah, you know what? I think this round is done. Please don't save in the pistol. You actually may not have a choice.
Oh, the big brain. The big jump.
Yeah, that's nice. Seems a little stupid to be like, yeah, that's a great play when he just like died to full damage. But if he didn't do that, he doesn't get the bonus money for losing the round. The round is basically done. He couldn't transition with the bomb, so best play he could have made, really.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Clever man.
Not every day you compliment a man who can find an effective way to deal damage for himself.
Yeah.
Are they just chilling in spawn? You know, I guess this is one of the advantages about not having a coach. If you don't have one, or if your coach is on the server with you, if you just wait, it's like a really long tactical pause. Like, what? There is literally no difference.
The existence round. Existence pause?
It was either exist or existence. I don't actually know. I feel like it'd be existence. It sounds like more of an existence thing.
Yeah. I think it was. I remember the French teams doing it. I might be getting my references all befuddled.
Yeah.
Either way, advantages are CTs can sometimes use too much utility for basically no reason, and you get time to discuss. Prospects aren't high of winning a round like this anyway. Everybody's got head armor, and those Glocks are notoriously bad at dealing with head armor. But when they've got numbers, they can still overwhelm you.
Well, that's exactly what actually ends up happening. Sparrow's not able to get more than just the one. Now Kisarek has to come through and make money. Poor guy. Oh no, I have to make money and pad my stats.
And everybody was pleased. Got his hands on the dualies as well. Rather simple, pretty drawn out round, but yeah, you know, the advantages we were discussing now can be put to action now that they're on rifles. Full AKs across the board here for Brazy, and more than enough utility to explore multiple options. You know, when we looked at the Rebels, when they were on their T side, they went in with the second round force and they had Galils and a whole lot of utility. Brazy avoiding that, already knowing that they had a lead coming into this half. And of course they didn't get the bomb plant, so... That extra $800 sometimes makes you do strange things with your economy. Sometimes, you know, you don't always have to go for a second round force just off of that. It's a real slow burner, though, from Brazil. They're not doing a whole lot of anything on the map, but they've kept a majority of their smokes as well, so it's not like they've thrown smokes and hoped for a reaction. They were just waiting to see if Rebels got a little antsy with the SMGs, treating this as a bonus round.
It's also interesting to see them prioritize this after we've seen so much success from them coming out in early round situations more than the late. Now they're giving over full info to Flay, though, and Flay's been a damn good hand of things. Molotov out for Sparrow. He's got flashes as well. If he wants to just try and reveal his position, this wouldn't be the worst place to do it. Spots out the one. Flash over, door closed, and I'm out of there.
Well, Olim joins him on the rafters, so he may serve as bait, but he may also just fight his way out of the situation. They should not be suspecting Spiro in this position, but it's all about whether they even finish on A or not. Inside of door is Kisarek, and he's trying to find that bomb, but Virtuoso, very good trigger discipline, finds the kill, and they will plant with that smoke down in main. Spiro's position was great on B, but they don't even go his direction.
That's really nice from Virtuoso, not accidentally killing Klasu.
Just hit the headshot, threaded the needle.
Yeah.
Between hitting his teammate and the enemy.
We've seen some team kills so far this series, right? So it wouldn't be the first. Would have been one of the more heartbreaking ones. So Sparrow, gotta say, Olymp a little bit awkward over there that he decides to double up behind Sparrow. They do, turn it around and, like you mentioned, hope to use it as bait, but yeah, at the end of it all, Virtuoso is the one with 4 kills and a big old crown on his head as the MVP for the round.
Yeah, it's really well done. Even though they sort of gave up an isolated fight onto Flay outside, they just still decided that they want to finish towards the A side of things. Maybe having a good understanding of, who is typically that guy on the lower side of the map. Maybe even saw a nameplate when they saw Spiro sort of jump spotting. Unsure, but they make the right call. They went the right way. And Rebels, that bonus does go askew, but these rifles may struggle. Again, not the most amount of utility. Olymp run down, couldn't deploy a Molotov or a smoke. No, nothing to really serve a purpose. Casey out with the 5-7, trying to keep pressure applied, but he knows he can't retreat. There's fire right behind him, and he's overrun as well. 5-on-3, and what remains of these rifles may kind of be tempted to save, and yeah, that'll be the call. I gotta say, I dig it. Like,
yeah,
I think Brazy or Brazy play kind of aggressive at, when we looked at earlier in the series, there were a couple rounds where you're thinking, maybe you shouldn't have played fast there, but they've caught Rebels off guard throughout this entire series with their pacier plays. It feels so weird that their first gun round, like you said, was so slow, but they bring that together, and then they just pace up straight into the next round, and Rebels just didn't have the facilities nor the read to anticipate it.
I mean, the question now comes in is that for Rebels, how are they going to change things up, right? The change of pace has to come in from the CT side as well, and unfortunately, they won't have the op of Flay. They won't have anything like it to try and discord an off-ramp or maybe dedicate resources into another area of the map, relying on Flay to cover off one side. It's obviously not the most viable strategy on Nuke, regardless of things, but Rebels does feel like their clock is ticking out very quickly. They're actually not buying into this one either. So they're not without threat, don't get me wrong, but the fact that they don't have any Keller behind on Olymp or Casey either, it feels like it's just going to be another call to save the 2 M4s again.
Assuming they don't win the round, of course. Well, that kind of sucked.
Yeah, I mean, or they don't just lose the M4s in the first duel.
Yeah.
That's also the assumption. Kisarek, forward peek, but he gets nothing off it, and Prism just continues to deal with damage. I have to say, weird round from Rebels.
They clearly had a plan, and it didn't work out. Yeah, the smoke, I think, at ramp was a little too far. Like, it wasn't actually in the choke point enough, because they had a lineup on that HE to blow that smoke so that Flay could sort of swing out from ramp and get a straight heads-up duel. But because the smoke was so deep, it didn't actually disperse much of the smoke, And so that ramp player is not like heavily disrupted. You know, he's watching the edge of the entrance, and it just meant that Flay didn't like swing with as much of a commitment. And so when I said that sucks, you know, that's really what I was referring to. It's the fact that, you know, the plan that they went for really just didn't materialize at all. They did a lot of damage to these players. You know, any one of those kills comes through, and maybe we were talking about a Rebels round that could have been. But no successes, no finishing of jobs. And so, Brazy sit at 11, Rebels still trailing, and this will be their last proper gun round if they don't find some way to crack in.
What's the plan for the MP9 is my question. Maybe back into lobby he could go, but you're already seeing so much damage dealt to him. They're expecting this. Brazy have a great read on the situation. Nade out early in onto lobby, so Kesserak was actually forced off of it and takes damage. And if there was ever a point for Casey to come out and prove it himself, this would be it. Not had the best of games in Nuke, but we know he can perform. If he's contested in the first place, that's, I guess, the other question you have to wonder. Brazy already showed their proclivity of playing slower on Nuke as well if they'd like to. And that trend's been brought right back.
I thought they were actually positioning themselves for what looked to be an A-side execute, but later on into the round. But they've pulled Virtuoso off of T-Roof, and that bomb is still yet to be scooped up by POLO.
Time's really ticking down low.
This will be a main split, if anything. I mean, that feels like the only really real play that they can make, given that they have outside control.
I mean, with Swiss finding the first kill on the Sparrow, Flay is the one who had to come through. Picks up another one. They're turning around. They're going back into ramp. Casey's had his crosshair darted away. Kissarak, though, with that MP9, damaged up early, sure, but he's still the one putting up a fight. Gives them this round, pretty much. Otherwise, this was a lost cause.
Yeah, nice 2 kills from Kissarak, but then also Flay just being able to disrupt those players, actually sort of trying to link up and rendezvous with those players on the A-bomb side. That smoke in main was what was keeping them sort of fighting towards outside. And even though they found a kill, him keeping it even in that exchange just kind of took a lot out of the extra punch that main presence was supposed to provide. No, they played it slow. And now they want to try and play a little quicker. Fast smoke in at ramp. And I felt like that was what they were priming for. There were 2 players right behind that orb just to spring into action should he find the pick. But now they reset. It's again sectioned off by utility. They've got Swizz already outside of main. I consider it to be the outside dead zone. Not because you die there, but just like that. Doesn't feel like there's a lot of fights that are really given in that position. Can't be spot checked.
This is such a dangerous angle for Spare to play. POLO even gets a shot on him. It's only a leg shot, I guess. But you can see why it's troubles. Flash is good. Sparrow kept blind. Now, can he find anything? No, Swizz just takes him down. And Casey maintains irrelevancy, actually. Inside mini can't do anything at all with the smoke still there. And now POLO just strained onto the angle. They're waiting for it. You know, there should be at least one here. Olymp coming back upstairs is going to be unexpected, but still unable to find anything. Swizz completely storms down on him, and Brazy are ripping them apart. Flay, I'm surprised he's going to contest that one. I won't lie to you. Feels a little bit foolhardy, but when you're down in a situation like that, I guess you try anything you can.
Yeah, he was just praying that bullet went straight. He was really just hoping for him to give him a chance. But, I mean, that shot from Swizz was delectable. He knew that player was on the ladder and fallen down to hell, but he just dispersed of him so quickly. It was like swatting a fly. And now moving into this where Brazy, I mean, have a strong buy and Rebels do not. And they're fighting for their lives here on Nuke. The CT side has not found a whole lot of success. It's been so reliant on players performing individually. Casey floored by the numbers that Brazy just simply send all the way down into secret. It's once again a pacier play, but Flay, a lovely headshot, and Kisarek is right there in those vents to help cover it off. So between the two, they bounce the aggro of these Brazy players, and they find themselves a man advantage.
Sparrow's still going to be a very key man. He's hearing two players coming over. Two pairs of feet. Neither one of them actually in a position to check for him. Swizz too far away and Polo a little bit too concerned with what's going on inside the A side instead. And now 2v4. Prism Swizz split up trying to regroup. They will be able to smoke Mini off and see if they can try and get a plant through. Problem is there's a player inside Vents who can try and double swing out with the Mini players as well. Swizz planting right at the corner of the smoke. There's a flashbang through for them to push in, and Prism still just covering this off, suddenly getting a little bit more scary for the CT side. There are three players who could be going in. Prism is set up for a multi-frag, but he's not had the strongest game so far. This will be massive if he can put it together. Swizz and Prism pulling it all through, and Prism can step up here and now. A one-on-one, but Flay brings it in.
Yeah, that gets real nerve-wracking. Even though you have the numbers, their smoke's down, you have to wait them out, you don't have kits on any of your players. This was not a buy that you were expecting to win. But they put all the chips down, and they succeed. It's SMGs and 5.7s that spring in, and Flay getting his hands on that AWP. I mean, the right person to have that weapon, of course. Nice clean shooting. But they almost bring that back. I mean, that would have been a 2-on-4 to close with recovered weapons in the hands of the Rebels. I do think, you know, looking back at some of the previous maps, you know, we've been praising the nice pacey aggression from Brazy throughout, but when we looked back at Mirage, it was those moments where they tried to go fast, and then they kind of slowed down, and they kind of call it quits. They back off from their engagements if they've had some difficulties. It's when they try and reset in the mid-round that it feels like Rebels have been able to get a minor edge within this series. But I'd say the positives outweigh the negatives for Brazy. They've just done such a good job of calling those like aggressive plays at the right times and targeting different areas of the map as well. It makes it very difficult to sort of anticipate. They're not just saying, oh, we broke into ramp, or we keep succeeding on B, so let's just keep hammering that with fast-paced aggression. No, they send that aggression elsewhere. So there is hope here for Rebels. That was not the round that they anticipated, but they will happily take it. Much better buy now to defend.
Some of that hope will have to come down to the ramp defense. Brazy seemed pretty good, intent on trying to go in down there, and with their outside player falling, it will be ramp contested. Virtuoso trades. Flay nearby. They know someone through the flash. They should have an idea it's the upper. Flay's been very on point with rotates down under from the pistol round onwards.
Once again, resetting and looking to target a different area. Virtuoso linking up with Closu inside of door. But they do have two players on this top side. They're in okay positions to sort of bounce off each other and just simply hold a walk-in. But door is the one vulnerability. Closu closing in on that gap, but back offered up. Free kill there for Spiro. Virtuoso trying to pin him into those vents, and a Molotov should finish off the job. In fact, it bounces up, and it combines perfectly with the HE, but that's 2 bits of utility that they now no longer have as a function. 20 seconds, and they do not have enough space on this bomb site to really think about a plant. Polo is so detached from Virtuoso, so they're gonna save.
And again, this is why we were a little bit surprised to see them go for these changes of paces of Nuke and look that good, because, you know, now you see they bleed out a kill out towards outside. Sparrow's been able to overrun them. They were hoping to isolate Sparrow in garage, actually, but he changed his position this time. So, solid kill for Sparrow to find and then follow up into ramp. It's just, it falls apart very quickly for Brazy sometimes, and yeah, maybe this should be a return to what worked. Maybe this might be a return to a faster place. That's what the Tech 9 certainly suggests, and that's what the investment would imply.
Yeah, I mean, it may not even be what they want to go for, but economically, you know, they can force here and save the next and still have another buy in this half, so circumstance be damned. These Tech 9s may give us what we want. Kasarak taking some damage to utility, but finds his kill onto POLO, investigating on that AWP. That can be cycled into one of these pistol players' hands, but Flay took space all the meanwhile. That is a great counter reaction. Swizz's lurk as well, sussed out. So this round a non-starter here for Brazy.
Yeah, Nuke feels like it's a map where you have to really commit with the half-buys. If you're going into lobby early on with all of your players, you just have to go in and take control fast. If you're going to let the CTs get aggressive, it'll be difficult. I mean, I get what they're going for. They're trying to make the AWP work out. They're trying to hope that the AK they save can cover it as well. But unfortunately, when Kiss gets that first kill, they don't really have a second fallback option.
It's also hunting into the top site with an AWP from Hut. It can be so difficult because there's so many different elevations, different positions that the CTs can be playing from. They could be playing on the silo, in the rafters, on the site floor, all on the same, like, horizontal plane, but at different verticalities. So, you know, definitely taking their chances there. Pistols again. There should be a buy around the corner. Casey. Shadow advantage, and so Closu dealt with rather easily. POLO meets the same fate, and no real successes aside from the Swizz trade. Filet was tagged up earlier on, and doesn't want to lose his AWP. Oh, well, I really thought he would just let his teammates handle this, but he reswung, and Swizz was certainly unprepared. There should be an AWP for Brazy, but they're maybe taking this time out to discuss whether or not the disadvantage of POLO not really having utility is worth him having the AWP.
It doesn't feel like it is, honestly. You need that util in the late rounds. You've seen how important it can be. And look, preferably you don't even get to the late rounds, right? Preferably, what I'd love to see for them is maybe just like a faster outside play to take secret control or so. See if you can exploit the fact that Sparrow has very often been playing early garage, but Sparrow's also had a few really good positional changes, so it's not easy to do that.
Yeah, go straight in with the AK instead. People still floating cash. Buy pistols, everybody.
Drop flashes to Prism. Come on, Michael.
Can also be an extra flash, yeah, that's true. You can only drop one flash, so P250, come on.
Virtuoso also good. But regardless, Flay. This time unable to find an early kill, and there you go. They're speeding up. Prism good for one, and Swizz is down under. Meanwhile, Flay is found and brought down. They do not want to play overtime. Closu gets a bomb down, and POLO's taken an off, even if he couldn't buy it. Sparrow finished off, and that's what we know Brazy for. 13-11, they take it away.
Yeah, nice explosive executes. That's what they've been good throughout this entire series long, and thank goodness they don't let it go to overtime again, because it could have been anybody's game had we ended up in that situation. We had an overtime earlier in the series, and I'm glad we didn't have another one at the end of it. But that is really unfortunate for Rebels. I think they did a good job of bringing themselves back into this game. Hell, it was the same kind of story, I think, on